have another room.
Yeah.
Which is like the ultimate man cave. They have like air hockey, pool, like Pop-A-Shot.
Yeah.
They have golden tea. Is that what it's called?
Yes.
Yeah, they have golden tea.
That's amazing.
And then they have just a bunch of stuff. Like everything a guy would want is in there.
I'm not surprised.
And it's Crane Kenny said today that it's the most expensive clubhouse in baseball, and you could see why. And even the lights in there, I read today that the lights are like mood sensitive, and depending on like what's going on, it's like insane. The clubhouse is sweet. I'm glad that
that'll be a big factor free agency wise, and just moving forward, that'll be a big thing for players. And I can tell, John Lester was very excited about it. He was like more excited about the clubhouse than pitching, on opening day at Wrigley, which I thought was pretty funny.
Yeah. Him and Lackey are in there eating chicken.
Him, Ross, and Lackey, all the old dudes just hanging out. But yeah, it looks amazing from what I've seen.
Yeah, so everything going up Cubs.
Yeah.
Let's talk some Blackhawks. It's playoff time. Congratulations.
Yes, we made it.
We made it to playoff hockey.
Another regular season.
In the books.
Ups and downs, people freaking out about every little thing. Q trying a bunch of different things, and we finally got to see Patrick Kane full potential when he's at his best, and it was magical. It's a fun season.
So yeah, getting things started off tomorrow in the shittiest city in America. Sorry for my language. St. Louis against the Blues, and you have down on here favorite and least favorite postseason moment. You want to talk about that?
Not moment.
Just postseason.
Just like, what's your favorite postseason?
Oh, of all the sports?
Yeah. Let's go through a little list here.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
You want to go first? Have you thought about this?
I thought about it a little bit. I can tell you right now, I can go first.
All right.
I'll say my number one has to be the NHL playoffs. The hockey is just made for high-intensity stuff like that. Next, I'd probably have to go the NFL, just because I love the NFL, and one-game playoffs. There's really nothing better than that. And then probably MLB. Even though it's short and kind of doesn't last very long, you kind of like, wow, it's already over after that long season. But it's just baseball and then basketball.
Then the NBA last,
yeah,
of course.
I feel like yours might be literally the opposite.
It's not the opposite.
Yeah.
This is going to shock you.
Yeah.
My favorite postseason is postseason hockey.
Okay. Speaking my language.
Just because the speed and the intensity of it is far above all the other postseasons. And then my second is baseball.
Okay.
That Cubs stretch run this last season really kind of made it for me. And all like the theatrics of it.
Yeah.
The bat flips, the people freaking out.
Yeah.
I love that. And then I'm going to put the NBA at 3. Some really memorable NBA postseasons out there, and then NFL is last.
Okay, I get that.
So that's what I have.
I tell people all the time, like non-hockey fans, I tell us to them all the time, like just watch playoff hockey.
Yeah.
Because it will change your outlook on the game.
Yeah, my girlfriend literally hates watching sports with me all the time. I try to get her to watch the Bulls or whatever, but she loves playoff hockey.
Yeah.
She will sit down and watch. We'll go to a bar, watch the game. That's what it's all about.
That's awesome.
And yeah, so shout out to playoff hockey.
Yes,
it's back.
It's great. So excited.
All right, well, let's just break down positionally Blackhawks and Blues.
I kind of broke it down by unit here.
Yeah, I dig it.
Yeah. I guess we can start with the goaltenders. Hawkskin, Corey Crawford back, which should be an advantage, but he's coming off an injury.
Health.
His second game back, and Brian Elliott for the Blues has been fantastic. Honestly, it does help that he has a really good defense in front of him. Him and Jake Allen have had really good seasons, right up there in terms of goal against average. But Corey Crawford was amazing this year.
And he was a big factor in the Blackhawks postseason run last year too. Yes. And I think he's a gamer.
Yeah.
He gets up for games. He gets a little feisty. He gets maybe in his head a little bit.
Yeah.
But I want him in net.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to see what he does in the postseason. So it could be a push. It could be lean towards the Hawks if Crow's healthy.
Crow's healthy. He's the best goalie in that arena. So,
and that's what people have been saying. If the Blackhawks are completely healthy, they should win this series. But we'll see.
Yeah, and then moving forward
with the forwards,
with the pun. Look at that. You got to go the Blackhawks here. The Blues have a lot of really good young forwards that I really like, but Patrick Kane, Artemi Panarin, Jonathan Davis,
my boy Anisimov.
They have guys that can just straight up take over games, and I mean, Tarasenko is amazing. He can do that as well, but they don't have 3 or 4 guys that are capable of doing that.
They don't have Backus, which is big.
Yeah, and I mean, the Hawks are right out near the top of goals for per game, so yeah. And then moving on to the defense.
That's the Blues, 100%.
That is absolutely the Blues. Blackhawks' biggest weakness, bar none, especially with Duncan Keith missing a game, which I don't think will completely bury the Hawks in Game 1. I think it'll be closer than people think. But, the Blues defense is one of the better defenses in the league. Lots of young talent, again, but you look at the goaltending numbers, a lot of that is due in part to their success on defense.
Yeah, the Blackhawks are literally going to try what they did last year and literally roll through the playoffs with 4 defensemen who are legit.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. A lot of young guys, TBR, Svedberg. We'll have to see, if them getting more minutes in the playoffs. We'll see if he rolls with, the top 4 as much as he did last year. Speaking of Q. Well, let's see. It'll be very interesting. That's the one area you should watch. Keep a look on in these playoffs for the Hawks. Then special teams. The Hawks obviously have one of the better power plays in the league. I would probably consider it the best, just looking at the talent they can put out there. When you have Artemi Panarin and Patrick Kane playing
chemistry itself,
playing with a man advantage, it's really, really scary for a team. And I think that'll be a major factor in this series. I know the Blues have a very strong penalty kill, but with that much talent, it'll be hard to stop the Hawks. And speaking of penalty kill too, the Hawks still right there. They got Marcus Kruger back, and instantly, I think they have been on a 0 for 20 streak, something like that, and on penalty kills, which has been great. They've really amped it up since Kruger returned from injury, which is good to see. You didn't know what to expect, coming off a long injury like that, but
yeah, definitely, and just some players to watch for the Blues here.
Mm-hmm.
Like you mentioned, Tarasenko, he's 74 points on the season. Colton Parayko, 5th in plus minus. Brian Elliott playing on his head.
Yeah.
It'll be a good matchup against Corey
Crawford. We'll have to see how Hitchcock uses his goaltenders. Because Jake Allen, obviously the guy all year, but Brian Elliott has been insane in his last 13 games. So we'll see. But I think we'll probably get Jake Allen Game 2, only if it's like a dominant performance or something from Elliott in Game 1. But yeah.
And obviously those Hawks players, them already. Patty Kane, Panarin, Taves, TVR playing big playoff minutes for the first time, really.
Yeah, was injured all of last year, all of the playoffs except for, I think, 3 games in the Stanley Cup Finals. So.
And then Corey Crawford coming back from his injuries.
Yeah.
And that's the number one thing right now is just health.
Yeah.
If the Hawks are really healthy and Keith comes back and plays well and doesn't have some rust.
That's the thing. Both these teams are relatively healthy right now. I mean, there's really there's guys coming off injuries. The Blues have David Backus and Jake Allen coming off injuries. But both teams very healthy at the start of the playoffs.
Yep, and then the Blues obviously have the home ice. I will be in St. Louis this weekend. Going to try to go to the Friday game.
Yeah.
So I'll let everyone know if I am going to that. Just put some pictures out there.
Yeah.
pretty fun. I know you're thinking about one of the games too.
I really want to.
A couple years back, Blake and our buddies, we all went down to St. Louis, and it was a great experience.
It was really fun.
So we'll see.
Yeah.
And Q did something interesting today with the lines and the Game 1 lines. You want to talk about that?
Well, he has Brandon Mashinter playing on the third line, which is very bizarre. I don't know if you've been watching Panik.
Yeah.
But he's been very, very good. And to not even have him in the lineup is a little suspect.
Yeah, it threw me for a loop.
I think he might try and be overplaying the matchups too much. Just looking at the bottom six for the Blues and how they like to use those guys. He thinks Mashinter would be a better matchup, but very odd. Very odd, because you're leaving two much more skilled guys off the ice. So.
All right, Blake. Prediction time.
Yeah.
Who you got?
Are we going straight Stanley Cup?
We're going this series, Stanley Cup, Conn Smythe.
Okay. I've said Hawks in 6 over the Blues since the beginning. I still think the Hawks have enough to get it done this year in terms of winning the Stanley Cup. Lots of firepower. And Patrick Kane has been that good where he can really carry you. And I think Jonathan Toews is going to come alive as well. But I'll say the Hawks win the Stanley Cup. And Conn Smythe, if they're going to win it, it's going to take a big effort from this guy. He's been overshadowed his last 2 runs. Corey Crawford, Conn Smythe.
That'd be amazing.
I think he might have to if they're going to win it.
Yeah, for this series, I have Hawks in 5.
Wow.
Just because I hate St. Louis so much.
Yeah.
I just want so much pain to be inflicted.
Yeah.
Excuse me. In Stanley Cup, I do not have the Hawks making it to the Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
I have them losing to the Kings in the Western Conference Final.
And who the Kings beat?
The Kings play the Capitals.
And
the Capitals take it home.
That's who I have out of the East as well.
Yep.
I went back and forth between them and the Penguins, but
I'm really scared of the West Coast teams for some reason.
Yeah.
And everyone keeps yelling at me that I should just be really scared of the Stars. And I mean, only time will tell, Blake.
Yeah. It'll be amazing if we can get another Kings Blackhawks Western Conference Final. I know the rest of the nation won't really agree with me there, but I would love to see that.
All right. Playoff talk over. Time for some pain. But the pain is over for now, at least, in regards to the Chicago Bulls.
Oh, God. The pain is... No, it's just beginning.
It's numbed for a brief time. The Cubs have really helped me this week. Yeah. I haven't really written anything this week or watched anything because I'm just like, I just need a detox from the Bulls right now. That run ends tomorrow. I am going to watch the last game of the year. I need to stay with them.
Yeah.
In that game, they're playing against Philly.
That'll be a very entertaining game.
Rose, Gibson, Moore, and Gasol are not going to play. Rightfully so. They should just sit and be fine. And now we got to just wait for ping pong balls. But I'm going to be so stoked when the draft lottery comes because I'm going to be locked in.
Yeah, 1.8.
Jimmy is playing, and I don't think he should be playing. There's been so many bizarre quotes coming out of his mouth recently.
He's kind of gone off the deep end.
Yeah, we don't really know what's going on in Jimmy's head.
Yeah.
He said he wants to train with Derrick Rose in the offseason, which I'm all for, but he's also telling everyone to kind of shut up about him and the Derrick Rose relationship thing.
Yeah.
And he's talking about how he wants to be a leader more, and I've heard there's been some split in the locker room in regards to veteran players on the team being like, Jimmy, you haven't really done anything.
Yeah.
You've been good for one season. And besides that, you haven't really done anything else. So in that regard, like there's a split. It's messy. It might get more ugly. Hoiberg has to do a better job of managing those personalities.
Yeah. Which I'm not totally sure he can.
Only time will tell. So I got a little treat for you guys. Today I just ran through the Bulls season bit by bit, and I have a list to recap the entire season. So starting at the beginning, it's at the beginning of the season,